Well, I'm at the vegetable patch at Blooming Junction today with the farm manager, Justin. And so, Justin, we've talked about so many different vegetables, and here we are in mid-July talking about fall vegetables. So what's with that?
That's right. I always want to tell people, if you wait till September or October to start your fall garden, it's way too late. So yeah, we're here in July, which is typically the best time to start planning and planting for your fall garden. Lots of things that we can be planting now. Root crops are a lot of things that people plant for fall and winter, but there are also a lot of leafy greens, and the cole crop is a good one this time of year too, the cole crops.
And so you were saying even like cauliflower you like to plant in the fall, that it's more tasty and a little bit easier to do?
I do, and it grows better for me in the fall. So yeah, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, a lot of those kind of crops I prefer to do in the fall. And when we get that first frost or a little cool weather in the fall, it changes the composition of the plant and really enhances some of the sugars and flavors in a lot of those crops, leafy crops as well as root crops.
Oh, that is nice. And then I always heard that like the beets are really good to do after a frost to harvest.
They are, yeah. Beets, carrots, parsnips, all of those will have much more flavor, be much more sort of sugary and tasty, after they get touched by a frost.
And so what kind of varieties should we be planting? So if I have a package that I've planted in the spring, should I use that same package of seeds?
Not always. That's not always the case. There are a lot of varieties there's been a lot of research into these varieties where they've created them so that they can withstand, the early heat of August when they're small, tender plants, but then also are very cold hardy once we get later into the season. So there are a lot of varieties specifically developed for fall and winter production.
And then what about the care? Because we are going to be going to the heat. So what should we be prepping our soil for?
Yeah, well, so in our soil prep, first thing, during this heat, we want to make sure that we're watering every day to get good germination. And for things like fine-seeded carrots, it can be good to add a thin layer of mulch or peat moss or something to help, keep in that moisture. Some things may even require watering twice a day during that heat.
Sure.
So, we'll want to be making sure that they get plenty of water. And even if you have a small garden at home, be providing some shade for those while they germinate on really, really hot sunny days. Anything you can do to add a little bit of shade to those plants. And we also in our soil preparation want to be thinking about creating good drainage, because we get so much rain in the fall and in the winter. We really want our soil to be draining well. So adding lots of compost, raised beds are always the best way to go for fall and winter planting.
Oh, that is true. And so we can get starts here or seeds?
That's right. Yeah, we have all of the sort of main transplants that you can put in. I love, it's great to plant with your own seed. I think that plants get a better start, but there are some things like those cold crops, the broccoli, cabbage, cauliflowers, that really need a little more time. So those I really recommend doing transplants with, and we have those for sale here at Blooming Junction.
And then we have to talk about pests. So should we be worried about them?
Well, one of the great things about gardening in the fall and winter is that there's a lot less pest pressure in general, flying insects, but the one pest that we really need to watch out for are slugs. So usually in August and September, when they first start coming out, I like to apply a little Sluggo. We've talked about that before. It's my go-to product to prevent slug damage here. And also, there can be some diseases caused with all the dampness and rain that we have in the fall. So I like to add a little bit more spacing between all of the plants to allow for a little more air circulation. That really helps quite a bit, yes.
That is a great tip. And then what about extension of the season? How long can we expect to be picking?
Yeah, so you always look at your last frost date for at least the warmer summer liking crops. And then for these cooler crops that I'm talking about, a lot of them can make it through the winter on their own. Wow. And yeah, I like to use a frost cloth. And you can float it right over top of your plants, or you can use wire hoops to support it, but it really adds an extra level of protection. And it can also be good to use earlier in the season, because when we were talking about pests, another one that we do get can be aphids, on Brussels sprouts and some of those crops. And so row cover can be a good way to keep those insects out and extend the season further into the winter.
All great tips, but I'd like to go up to the store and see what's going on there, so let's go over.
Right.
So Justin, now we're up at the nursery and the store, and really you have everything for everyone up here.
We do, that's right. Yeah, for those who want to give a try at winter and fall gardening, we do have all the seeds and starts that you would need to do that.
Yeah, and then here, the bounty, man, so if you don't want to do a vegetable garden, you can come and get your vegetables.
That's right, yeah, we have 215 different fruits and vegetable varieties that we grow here, and they're all available for sale here in our produce stand. We also do a late season CSA, which is 8 weeks of a vegetable share that people can get more information about on our website.
Nice, and then also U-Pick, so the U-Pick information's on that website too?
It sure is, yeah, all of our berries that are open for U-Pick at this time.
And we've done segments about your cooking classes, and so those are lots of fun, and so all that information is on there too.
That's right.
You know, you have to come out to Blooming Junction. It's a great place to come, not just for plants, but for all your vegetable needs. And if you're going to start that vegetable garden this summer, you have to do it right now and get it in so you can harvest all fall. Thanks for all that information. This was wonderful.
Thank you.